So today I'm going to show you how to buy stocks directly on the Charles Schwab website / browser. So you can actually see we're here in real time. I'm going to show you step by step on how to go through this process. So when we log into our Charles Schwab account, we actually get put right into our accounts section right over here. And we have some money in this account we can go ahead and start utilizing. Of course, if you don't know how to add money yet, I'll have links in the show notes down below for tutorials on how to do just that. Now from here, right next to accounts, there's actually going to be a section called trade. We're going to go ahead and click on that because even if you just hover over, it doesn't drop any menu down. But if you do click, that's when you're going to see a new menu. So let me wipe that screen down just a little bit. All right, so now that we have the screen cleaned here and we clicked on trade, you can see a bunch of options came up here for us. And to be able to buy our stocks, we're actually just going to go to this section right over here that says stocks and ETFs. So that's going to now take us to this new page to be able to go ahead and buy our stocks. And I'm going to break this down a little bit more for you so you have some clear understanding of what all of this means. First and foremost, it's going to show us which account we have available to be doing this trade with. So if you have multiple brokerage accounts or an HSA or any other type of account, make sure it's toggled to the right account you want to utilize. Next up, it's going to show you your available cash and cash investments, such as your buying power. This is effectively what you could be utilizing to make any type of purchase today. And there is a section over here for options, but we're not going to worry about that for our example here today. So next up over here is going to be the main area for us to be able to go ahead and do our purchase. You're going to see where it says symbol and an option right over here to go ahead and enter symbols. Now symbols are typically the codes that they utilize for the ticker numbers. You can also go ahead and just type in the company themselves as well. So if you wanted to do something like Apple, for example, but didn't know their ticker symbol, if you typed in Apple, you can actually see the company right over here. And if you toggle that on, it will go ahead and pre-populate the entire information. So you saw a bunch of things just kind of shift as we went ahead and clicked on it. Now, if that didn't work out for us, we can go ahead and delete that. And we can go ahead and choose a different option. You can also click on this little arrow to look at recent symbols that you searched for earlier, as well as any that you might currently also own in current times if you want to buy more shares of those companies. In our example here today, we're actually going to go ahead and switch over to a smaller priced stock right over here. So that way we can go ahead and use the dollar amount that we have to buy a share of a company. Now, keeping in mind that when you're buying shares here on this section of the process, you do have to be buying in full share amounts. If you want to be doing fractional shares, Charles Schwab does have that option, and we have a completely separate video on how to do just that in the show notes down below for you. So for this example, we went ahead and put in the symbol for the company called SoFi. And right over here, you can see all of this populated information over here for us. We don't have to worry too much about this, to be honest, for our example on just being able to go ahead and make this purchase. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up my screen here for just a sec. And we're going to want to go look down here in the action section first and foremost. So if we go ahead and toggle over here on action, there is going to be the option to go ahead and buy. So we're going to toggle on this. And what we're going to do is go ahead and move up the quantity if we want to be buying multiple shares of this company. As well as you can use this little calculator here. It's pretty neat if you want to go ahead and just put in a dollar amount, and it'll kind of pre-populate how many shares you could buy with that dollar amount. So if you're not completely sure how many shares $27 can buy you and 98 cents, this will go ahead and pre-populate how many you can buy up to the max. We don't want to go ahead and do that today, so we're going to drop it down back to 2. Then next up here is going to be where it says reinvest the dividends. Now, this company in particular, I kind of covered that screen there for it. Now, this company in particular does not pay dividends, but in case it did, you can go ahead and toggle this on, and any dividends that these companies pay out will go right back into buying more shares of the company. If this is toggled off, that money from the dividends that they pay out, which is a profit from the company, will go directly into your Charles Schwab account, so you can utilize for other purchases or withdraw that money. Now, next up here is going to be the order type. If you want to go ahead and toggle on this little eye here, you can go ahead and read more about the different options. For our example here today, because we want to make this as super simple as possible, we're going to go ahead and go to where it says market. And that's going to change some information over here on the right-hand side. As you can see, if we go back here, there were some other options, but because we're going with market, which again is just the easiest way to go about this, it is just going to switch this over to timing, which you actually can't even switch over, and that's perfectly fine. So this all is going to be set up for us here. If you want to add more stocks, you can actually go ahead and do an additional order. But for example, here today, we're just going to stick with the 1. Now from right over here, it does have the estimated amount, and you can kind of see this changing up in real time because the price is fluctuating as well, and because we're going through the market order type, which means that we typically might be paying a little bit more or less than what the actual current stock price is. But again, for simplicity, this is the easiest way to kind of go about it. So if everything looks good here for us, we're going to go ahead and click on review order. And this is just going to go through the review process. So keep in mind, this is not official just yet. So we want to pay attention on the next page. So here in the review section over here for us, we're going to go ahead and have everything looked at for us. It is going to show if there are any commissions or processing fees, and again, what the total estimate will be, knowing that it can fluctuate just a little bit more. If everything looks good for us over here, we're going to go down in this section here that says place order. And as you can see right over here, it says our order has been received. And because we did this during market order, that order went through right away and those shares are now in our holdings. If you did it off market hours, it'll go early in the morning in the next business day that the stock market is open. Now, if you're curious on how to sell any of the stocks that you currently have in your Charles Schwab account, no worries, we got you covered. Check out our next video right over here on screen to learn how to do just that.